Hello, and welcome to this episode of Cracking the Rich Code, the podcast. I'm John Verigo. I am your host, and I love doing this show. My guest today, and you're going to love her, actually is a co-author with me in Cracking the Rich Code Volume 13. I'm very excited to get to know more about her. I read her chapter when our book first came out, and was very excited about what she had to say. Markiesha Wilson is a leadership coach, a management consultant who encourages authenticity and growth through challenge, and most importantly, joy in the workplace. And we are going to learn more about that. So let's bring in Markiesha. Hi, Markiesha. How are you doing
Hi,
today?
John. I am excellent. I am excellent today. I'm thrilled to be on the show with you.
Well, I'm glad we finally got you scheduled to be here, and it's so interesting that we wound up being in the same book,
I
Volume
know.
13, which came out kind of a while ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while. We're in lucky 13, John.
We are in Lucky 13, which is such a great thing. Let me ask you a question. What when you were first reached out to be
Yeah,
part of this book series, and it was called Cracking the Rich Code. What
yeah.
were your thoughts? What did you think about that?
Well, first of all, I said, were they sure they were reaching out to me? Because I was like, wait, who knows I'm rich? I haven't told that many people, but actually, I it was through my connections and through LinkedIn and so on, and it actually took a couple of times before I responded because I wasn't sure. And then
Mhm.
when I got scheduled to meet Jim Britt, that guy's warmth came all the way from California through the
Yeah.
phone. And I just felt like, what a tremendous project. And I was excited that I was selected. And
Yes.
he said a few things to me that just resonated, that, where he was in his place in life and how he wanted to give back. And that is what pricked me right there, is how he
Yep.
wanted to give back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an exciting adventure, and it's the same thing, when he reached out, I'm like, cracking the rich code? Wait a minute. That's you multimillionaire CEO type folks, man. That's not. Yeah, but then when he started talking about,
Yeah.
richness of life as well, that's stuff we can talk about. That's stuff we can
Absolutely.
definitely talk about. And
Absolutely. But the title gets you though, right? Because
it does.
everybody wants the code to be rich. Everybody wants.
I love it. Well, and you know what? I think we've solved that code. We found richness in life. It's not all about wealth.
No.
Money's helpful, but in real life, it's all about how we live and how we treat each other and all of that stuff. And it's about life experience. So, you have had an interesting life, and I'd like
Yeah.
to know more about it and let
Yeah.
you tell a little bit of your story about how you kind of got into what you're doing now.
Yeah. So I can go on the professional side or author side. I'm teetering like, which one is more exciting for this moment? I think I'll
Both.
go for both, right?
we
Both.
want to we want to know about you, the person.
Yeah. Okay. Well, me, the person, she's a whiz. I believe that I was an executive coach probably way before it was actually a title that I even understood. When I started my career as a waitress, server we call them now, but as a waitress,
Hmm.
and somehow even back then I was telling the manager, Mr. Fox, listen, I just feel like if you would say it this way, the busboys would listen. And when I think back to, that's always been in my character somehow. My personality got me in front of the leader, and that continued on into college, and even in college I was started to do college recruiting and advising people on why they should go to college. Here I was, a freshman, and that continued, and I began to then recruit people, and then from there I started recruiting not students but professionals. And the common thread through those positions, which then went on to training and then officially executive coaching and consulting, the thread was, I want to help you help other people do what they need to do. That was always the common thread in my career, in my professional life. And when I look back on that, I think, well, shoot, well, maybe I should have got certified as an executive coach much sooner, or maybe I should become a consultant much sooner. But I believe it were those life experiences and the leaders that I had the privilege of working under, and the leader that I became, that enabled me to land where I am today. If that's helpful.
That is so perfect, and it's so true, because a lot of times we don't realize the underlying things of behind what we do and how we behave.
Yeah.
So I had kind of a similar story in the fact that I was working. I noticed the way bosses
Mm-hmm.
treated people and people treated people, and how people responded to that. I know
Mm-hmm.
how I responded to it. I was a bullied kid in school,
Mm-hmm.
and I was made to try to to feel less than others. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
nobody should be able to
That's right.
made to feel that way. But it took me a long time and a whole career before I realized that what I had been doing all along in helping people learn to communicate better and making sure people got credit for what they did and they realized
Yeah.
that they mattered, all of that was that underlying thing of everything that I did. And so ultimately I became a coach and stuff as well for the same purpose.
Yeah.
So we were kind of in parallel
Yeah.
when we realized that, and we do that. We go back and say, oh, I wish I would have realized this
Right.
before. I could have done this
Could
sooner. I
have
could have
done
did
it
that.
sooner.
But you really couldn't
No,
have.
you
And the
weren't
reason why,
prepared. Life
no,
had to happen.
right. And you had to learn the rest of the lessons that you got as you continued through on.
That's exactly right. Because you were in the picture, so you I mean, what is the expression? You can't see the whole picture if you're inside the frame, right?
There it is. I love it.
Right. And in those years we were inside the
That's a good one.
frame.
I'm gonna make that,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's totally cool.
I'm going to write that one down, by the
Yeah,
way.
you can't see the whole picture if you're inside the frame.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. And it is so absolutely true. And so you bring that perspective to people now.
Yeah, I do. I think in a lot of ways, right? So in the bits of my life that are still in management consulting, and I've worked for the big firms, 3 of the big 5 firms I've worked for. And why I was successful in those spaces, why I'm still successful today, is helping people see outside the frame, right? Even if they're in the frame, I'm able to be outside and look at it and say, well, did you consider this? Have you thought about that? It's the same thing we do as coaches, right? There's blind spots that
Exactly.
people have. It's the same thing we do as parents and aunts and uncles and friends. It's helping people see what they can't see about themselves that's in their way of where they want to go, or or they could just enhance it, right? And I believe the fact that we have spent a good amount of time learning to be great communicators allows people to receive it better. And that's the main thing. A lot of times people, one of my pet peeves is everybody's a coach and everything's coaching now, right? So that's
Yeah,
one
I
of my
know.
pet peeves. Everybody's a coach now. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my pet peeves is that. But there is an art to helping people help themselves. There's an art to that. And there's compassion in it, and there's caring in it, and there's structure and science. So I just wanted to make that big plug for everybody who thinks there's a coach. Understand there's more to it, to helping people
Yeah,
see what's going on.
there is much more to it. And I know there so many people are being encouraged by the industry, I'll just say that, to be oh, well, you can't find a job, be a coach.
Oh,
You can't
right.
you can't do this,
No,
be a speaker.
no,
It's absolutely amazing to see how that has happened in the speaking and coaching
no.
world now.
No, it's totally, yeah. There's a lot. And incidentally, I started a business. Not incidentally, this is all part of the story. I just didn't throw it in there. Some years ago, probably now 15, maybe 20 years ago, I decided I was going to be a professional
Time
speaker.
flies.
Yeah, just it does. Just popped in my boss's office. I saw a motivational speaker. I'm going to be a professional speaker now. Well, there's more to that than just engaging one little audience. So
That's true. That's true.
oh, I still love to
there
do it. I love to
there
do it.
there is so much to it, and as we go through life, and different doors open up and different experiences present themselves, and all of a sudden you realize which things you become really good at and which
Yeah,
things you are better to let others do, but you can help them as
that's right.
well. And I
That's
think, people like you and I who thrive on helping others, I think that is so needed out here in the world right now too.
it is everything. And like I said, it's one of the reasons that I pursued the opportunity with Jim is because he said that's what he wanted to do, because that's all I want to do. One day I woke up and realized all I want to be is a philanthropist. That's it. I want
Wow.
to I want to give money and give talks. But in order to do that, I have to make money. So that's where I am in the movie right now. But that is my life's work. I believe I was put here just to give and to inspire. Those are the two things I'm supposed to do, and it's what I've been gifted to do. Went back a long time ago when I was a college recruiter, I would tell students this. I would say, I don't care really what university you choose, whether you choose mine or another one. And it doesn't matter really what major you choose, because what you're going to end up doing in life is that what you're naturally good at doing and what you love to do. I've said that for 30 years and I'm living that. That which I'm naturally good at doing and what I love to do.
What you
Give
love to
and
do.
inspire. That's it.
Oh man, I love that.
That's it. That's why I'm here. That is why I'm here.
And people need to learn this lesson as they go through life. And so many people will find themselves in a type of job that they hate, and they stay with
Mhm.
it for the security of staying with the
Mhm.
paycheck. And it takes
Mhm.
folks a long time to realize where their passions really lie,
Yeah.
and also where their skill sets lie. And then there's that level of bravery that comes to making
Mhm.
those steps as we move into that portions of our life where we are doing what we're good at and what we enjoy. Hey,
Yeah.
we are speaking with Markiesha Wilson. Markiesha wrote a chapter in Cracking the Rich Code, Volume 13. It is called Give More, the Surprising Answer to Life's Big Questions. So, Markiesha, by the way, you can check out Markiesha's website, markieshawilson.com. Definitely check her out. She is a super interesting person. But let's talk about the chapter that you wrote.
Yeah.
In volume 13 with me.
Yay, woo woo. Get it, John. Oh my goodness. This chapter. Um I'm gonna share this story because it's the truth, and authenticity is one of
Well,
my big
thank you.
things.
Thank you
That's
for sharing the truth story.
Here's the true story behind this book. So you already heard about how, Jim reached out and I had the conversation. So I had written a book called In the Climb. That book took me a year to write, but 50 years to live enough to write, right? Almost 50 to live to write. And so when I got the call about writing this chapter, I said, "Oh, it's a chapter. I got this. I can write this chapter in 2 weeks. I'm good." I booked my flight to, I think, Barbados, maybe, or St.
Oh,
Lucia. And I was like,
lovely.
yeah, I'm going to go write my book there. I spoke to my editor friend, and she said, Markiesha, you're making a terrible mistake. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I got this. I've written a book, a chapter. Give me a break. And she said, you poured your whole soul into that book. This is not going to work. And I said, oh, it's going to work because I've been working on a keynote speech for 6, 8 months. And I'm using that as the foundation
There
for
you
it.
go. Mhm.
And she said, okay, let me hear it. So I read the keynote speech to her. And she went silent and she said, "Well, how many words is that?" I was like, "I don't know, 2 3 1." And she said, "Markiesha, I that is your chapter." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm going to leverage the concept." She was like, "That's it. Why would you write it any differently?" And I read it and then I tweaked it because in my mind it was a speech. But if you read this chapter, now that you know this, maybe you'll hear it as a speech. But that it was intended to be my keynote speech about why I'm here and what my life is all about. And the time, I believe in God and I believe in divine intervention, and those two things linked up. And that is how the chapter was actually born, was out
Wow.
of the speech. Yes. Yeah, that was
So,
the deal.
so now how many times have you given that speech?
Not once.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
it happens.
And not once. Well, so for me, I now realize that I wasn't writing a speech. I was writing a chapter for a book I didn't know I was supposed to be in. So when it's time to write the speech, oh, I'm ready now.
You
I
got
am
it.
very, very ready.
You've got this one. You definitely have this
Yeah.
one. Oh, I love it. It's interesting. My chapter in volume 13
Hmm.
was also originally a speech.
What? I didn't. Well, obviously, I didn't know that.
Yes, yes. It's a
Interesting.
speech. It's principally the speech I give on change.
Okay. Well, hopefully
So
you've given yours. I have not
when you were
yet.
well, I had given that speech in the past, and
Hmm.
I thought, I think this would possibly be a good material for the chapter, and so
Interesting.
that's where it came from. But it actually came from a speech. And when
Well,
you were
I'm in the
telling your
reverse.
story about how it was how you wrote this originally as a speech, I'm laughing inside because I'm saying, yeah, that
Me
was.
too. Well, maybe after this podcast, someone will say, "Well, Markeisha, come and deliver this speech."
Well, why don't we tell people what it's about?
Yeah. Well, it's called "Give More: The Surprising Answer to Life's Big Questions," and in it, I talk about how we all live through this whole life with a ton of questions, like who am I? Am I good enough? All these things, and what's my purpose on earth, right? And I believe that everyone, started talking about all these powers they have. I have a superpower and that superpower and that. And I feel like if you can discover what your purpose power is,
Hmm.
that thing that you would do, that you give freely, that's how you find out what you're really meant to do in life. And for me, it was found through giving, and giving in all different ways, giving as a professional, whether that's your insight, your support, whether it's in the true form, not the true form, a form of giving, whether it's financial, whatever it is, time, talent, inspiration. When you do that, when you're giving that thing you would do for free, that's likely your purpose because it comes so easy and you freely give it, right? So that's
And
what I talk about in the
it's so
chapter.
rewarding because you feel it inside.
100 and 1,000 for 100%. I'm not a math person, obviously, right? And for me, and no matter what time period I have found myself in life, I have found a way to be a giver. Whatever I have had, I have found a way to be a giver. And I encourage people, whatever, if you're listening to this podcast and you're a leader, well, giving your time and insight to people who you support, that's your form of generosity. Giving them
Yes.
giving them insights that they would not otherwise get. Giving them your sponsorship. That's you putting John's name in the room that he's not in. That's your form of generosity as a leader. There's so many ways people go to stereotypically,
Just
it's
giving
money, it's
recognition,
recognition.
giving
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah, respect.
Yes.
Those are my ideas. And not I want to encourage people to get beyond the thought of giving as a transaction. That means,
Yes.
I'm giving because I'm going to get this. And even that mentality around networking, I'm doing this because I'll get that. Well, when you think of it that way, then giving would drain you, right? Right, because I'm
Mhm.
giving to get, giving to get. Well,
Well,
that's
also
not really what it is.
it opens up the door to disappointment if you
Oh
don't get
yeah.
back what you think you're supposed to get out of it.
Oh, and how many of us have gotten back exactly what you're supposed to get out of it? But what I would say is when you give whatever someone else needs, it comes back to you in the way you need it. Doesn't always come back in the way that you gave it. It comes back in the way that you need it.
Right.
It
I I love that. You have such a big heart, Markeisha,
Oh, thank you.
and
Thank you.
I'm so
Ugh,
glad there are people like you out here sharing it,
ugh.
and this and giving of your heart and giving of your wisdom and giving of your spirit. Uh, this is absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that you first of all signed up to be in the book because that gave you an opportunity to be on the podcast, which gave me the opportunity to meet you.
Yes, John. Yes, I count it a privilege to be able to tell bits and pieces of my story, so that they will inspire others. And giving, of course, is one of them. It is strategic. It's a leadership tool. It is also what fuels my soul, right? And others. I believe that the world that we live in, no matter where you are in the world, there's hardships. No matter where you are in your life, there's hardships. You're enduring something. Someone needs to give you something, and you need to give someone something, regardless of where you are in the movie. Without taking this down a dark path, John, I would tell you that in the past 5 years, not even 5 years, I have lost my mother, my father, and my brother. My
Oh,
sister I had lost several years ago, and I raised my niece, right, my late sister's daughter. And even in all of this loss that I have experienced over these past years, um, I have found ways to give, and that is what has kept me moving forward myself, right? I've done talks, um, about various topics that people are pushing through that need to endure right now. And and each time my losses, my trauma around that has come up. I'll just say that my book, In the Climb, when that book went on Amazon, that same day my father took his own life.
oh,
Unrelated, not related to the book. His
well, certainly
decision,
not. But
no, his decision that day. And as an author, the day your book comes out is such a celebratory day. And the fact that I've had to juggle those two things each time I talk about that book, right? If you would believe that lightning could strike in the same place, the same day that I decided to launch Cracking the Rich Code on my website because it came out a different day,
Mhm.
that's the day my brother passed away. These things are unbelievable. And I'm sharing them because, going back to my earlier point, John, I'm put here why? To give and inspire. Both of those ties to those books, I could have never imagined. I could have never, nor would I ever wanted, to lose my family, as linked.
Of course not.
Um, I just, it just is the way that it happened. This is the way that it happened. And it just allows me to have now these platforms, I guess, to talk about these things.
And the fact that you can be here and share this with us, is a wonderful testament to your own resilience and your own heart. And so thank you for sharing those moments. And kind of some people might say it's the universe's way of of keeping our humility,
Mm,
making sure that we understand, and balancing out things so that I mean,
yeah.
certainly we don't want that kind of a balance, but but sometimes the universe works in very, very weird
Yes.
and mysterious ways.
Yes.
But through it all, that here's the biggest thing of all of this is that, in each of those tragedies,
Hmm.
you had a, a glory to balance it out. So instead of looking at
Yeah.
it as, that was the day your father took his life, or that was the day your brother died,
Yeah.
instead, that was your books came out on those dates to
Yes.
help you balance the trauma
Absolutely.
on the other side. The trauma
Absolutely.
wasn't there to balance to knock you down off of your
Right.
pedestal. It
Right.
was it was a reminder there that this stuff is not your fault and that you
Hmm.
still are who you are.
Yeah.
And that keeps it together. That's the way you have to look at that balance.
Yeah.
Hey,
I,
we're having a glorious
yeah.
conversation with the lovely Markiesha Wilson. And Markiesha, you've got such a wonderful heart.
Thank
She
you.
is author in Cracking the Rich Code, Volume 13. You want to pick up that book because not only is her chapter in it, but mine is too.
Come
But
on. That's
anyway,
right. Yeah.
you want to learn more about Markiesha and what she does. She is a speaker and a coach and a management consultant and an author.
That's
Visit
right.
her website, which is markieshawilson.com. And also, by the way, I think you can get copies of her book there, or at least you can find them on Amazon. She has another book, her own solo book, which is In
In
the
the climb.
Climb: Eight
Hmm.
Audacious Actions to Overcome Life and Climb the Corporate Ladder, which is something that
Hmm.
I might have to get a copy of. If you'll autograph it for me, that would be great.
Absolutely will. My full name, Markeisha E. Wilson.
Markeisha Wilson. You can find her on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah,
But also, Markeisha said if you want to reach out to her, you can contact her by email, which is mwilson@wilsonchapman.com. And
yeah,
those will all be in the show notes. So
awesome.
you'll have that contact information as well. For those of you who are watching the YouTube version, you can see this stuff on the screen.
Wonderful.
Markeisha, this has been a delightful conversation. I have learned so much about you, and you are such a warm and giving person. And
Yes,
isn't that the kind of a title that we all want to have, a giving person?
yes,
Oh.
yes.
And I know the warmth that you feel when you speak or when you coach people, when you help people. There's something so rewarding about that. I have said many, many times that
Mhm.
I would do it for free.
I do it for
However,
free.
well, I do
Probably
do it
too
for free
much.
from time to time, but
You have
but
I have
there,
to stop.
I've become accustomed to those minor luxuries of food and shelter, so I
Same.
do actually have to charge from time
I
to time.
know.
We have to,
It's
we have,
so
darn
true.
it, we have to make a living.
Darn it. No, it's so, so,
Yeah.
so true.
So let's go hit the lottery, see if we can turn things around,
Do
and
it.
and if we do that, then we can do all this for free. But meanwhile,
Absolutely.
everybody has to pay us just to keep us going,
Thank
so that we can go and help other people.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
It is a full
yeah. It's
cycle.
food on our table. It's to give us the ability to go and help others.
That's exactly right.
I love
Yeah.
this. Markeisha, is there anything else that you would like to tell people before we unfortunately have to wrap this up? I
Oh,
can't believe time goes
goodness.
so quickly.
I just would tell folks to prioritize um, giving in the way that makes sense for you, right? Whether it's time, your talent, and to find one person a week that you can give something that you have that could benefit them. One person a week. That's all I'm asking.
I love it. And what a fantastic goal. Just reach out and help one person a week. It doesn't mean you have to dig into your wallet. It
Nope.
doesn't mean you have to,
No.
you know, go out of your way. Literally, you can give. It might be just advice. It might be just give them a helping hand. It might just
Mhm.
be giving them your smile. Sometimes
Absolutely.
that is just a powerful enough gift.
A word of encouragement goes a very, very long way. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff.
Awesome.
Markiesha, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your heart and all the giving that you're doing in the world and the difference that you're making. We'll be keeping in touch, absolutely,
Yes. Thank you,
and
John.
definitely want to learn more about you. And I think everybody else will too. So check out Markiesha's website, markieshawilson.com. Read her chapter in Cracking the Rich Code, Volume 13, and reach out. Get in
Please
touch with
do.
her at
Please do.
mwilson@wilsonchapman.com. Markiesha, thank you again. Have a wonderful day.
Thank
As of
you,
this
John.
recording, we're just a little bit before Thanksgiving, so have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And
Awesome. You do the
thank you
same.
all out there for listening and for watching, and keep watching the Cracking the Rich Code podcast. Thank you, everyone. Take care.